Hello friends, this is Dave of JavaCodeJunkie.com and welcome to another JavaFX tutorial. In this video, we're going to look at the JavaFX Pane class. Pane is the base class for layout panes that need to expose their list of child nodes as public so that users can freely add and remove child nodes. This class requires you to use absolute positioning of child nodes as it does not perform any layout except sizing the child nodes to their preferred sizes. You are responsible for positioning all child nodes. So let's look at an example. I've already created a new JavaFX project in Eclipse and I've called it Pane Layout. And in our start method, I've created a new pane, root equals new pane. This will be the root of our scene graph. I've created three components, a label, a text field, and a button, and I've added those three to the root using the standard getChildren and addAll method. Up to this point, when we've added components to one of our layout panes, we have not had to specify any positioning. The positioning is the responsibility of the layout pane that we have used. But as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, since we're using the Pane class, it is the programmer's responsibility to position components within this layout pane. Let's run our program at this point and see how it behaves. We'll right-click, Run As, Java Application. So here's the result. We have a stage with a scene. The root of the scene graph is our pane layout. The pane has three child nodes, the label, the text field, and the button. And because we haven't specified positioning, they're all positioned at the top left-hand corner of the layout pane. The label is at the bottom. On top of that then is the text field, and on top of the text field is the button. So this is not really very useful, but this is where the absolute positioning of the components comes in. So let's go back to our program, and let's look at what's required to position the components. We can specify the X and Y coordinates for each of the different child nodes that we're adding to this layout pane individually, and there are methods for that, set layout X and set layout Y. But there's also a relocate method that allows you to specify both the X and the Y coordinates at the same time, and that's the one that I'm going to show you. When using the relocate method, we specify an X coordinate and a Y coordinate. Now these are relative to the pane that we're using and not relative to the screen itself, but the position of the pane on the screen. So let's look at first the label component. Label.relocate. I'm going to put this component at X coordinate 30 and Y coordinate 30. So on the X-axis, it's 30 units to the right, and on the Y-axis, it's 30 units down. So this is 30 units to the right on the X-axis and 30 units down on the Y-axis. Positioning starts at coordinate 0, 0. This is the upper left-hand corner of the layout pane. And I've specified for the label X coordinate 30 and Y coordinate 30. This means that we're going to position the label component 30 units to the right on the X-axis and 30 units down on the Y-axis. So let's run the program and see how that looks. Now we can see the label. It's 30 to the right on the X and 30 down on the Y. Let's do the same thing to the text field. Text field dot relocate. This time I'm going to position it to the right of the label, so it'll be 100 and on the same Y coordinate of 30. Run it again. Now we see the text field is to the right of the label. The last one that we're going to do is the button. Button dot relocate 275 and again the same Y coordinate. Run. And now we have them all nicely lined up horizontally within our pane layout container. Let's go to our CSS file and specify a different size for the font for this program. -fx font size 14 pixel. We'll run the program again. And now you'll see already that there's an issue. The text field and the button are right next to one another. Since your positioning of components in the Pane Layout Manager is absolute, when you change the size of the components, you may also need to change the position of some of the components. This is just one of the things you have to be aware of when you're using the Pane Layout Manager. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing so you don't miss any future videos when I release new content. Thanks for hanging out with me again today. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you again in the next video. Until then, please stay safe and keep on coding.